Hello, Healy family, and welcome. I'm Peter Christoph, your Managing Director of North America, and thank you all for joining us today for this important and exciting training call. As sales leaders, your dedication and expertise drive the success of this organization. And today, we're here to equip you with even more tools and information to excel. But first, a quick announcement to get out of the way. If we can advance to the next slide. Okay, today's webinar is being translated into Spanish, French, and Mandarin. And to access those language, take your cursor and click on the globe icon that says interpretation and select the language that you'd like to listen to. And thank you to our incredible interpreters who always make this possible. Okay, now we are thrilled to announce the launch of two brand new program groups that will empower you and your teams to work smarter, expand your network, and have a wealth of information at your fingertips so that you can even achieve greater results than you already have. And these program groups represent a significant step forward in how we support you in the field. And I know that you're going to love what they have to offer. So to guide us through this training and share all the details, we have a very special guest with us today. Martin Whitman, our Chief Product Officer, is not only a visionary leader, but also one of the driving forces behind these two innovative tools. His love of Healy was the very first thing of many that impressed me when I first met Martin. His extensive experience in product development and technology and customer-centric solutions just make his contributions to what we do all that much more important. So, without any further ado, please join me in giving a huge Healy welcome, lots of hearts, to Martin Whitman, our Chief Product Officer. Martin, thank you for being here, and I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Christoph. Yeah, it's always really a pleasure to work with him, as he's always let's say, a source of positive energy. And yeah, and that's what we have, and that's what we will have even more with those modules. So I start with a little background story to the essential oils module. So originally, of course, we have all these big networks with essential oils, and everyone used somehow essential oils most likely. Like lavender, when you want to sleep in the night very peacefully, that always helps. And we thought, okay, let's dive into this a little deeper. And for essential oils, we created this database of about 100 and over 100 essential oils. And I reworked this database, I think, 2 times. And since the content is quite massive that we had, it took quite some time. But I really wanted to make it very efficient because back then I learned how really, yeah, let's say, an effective database needs to be built is nothing you can simply learn on the street. I learned it personally from Sabine Weber, who was a therapist and practitioner that created a huge amount of time-weaver databases and also created the level wave module. And she was really always very, very unconventional. And her zodiac sign was also Aquarius. So someone that brings usually new things into the world that are revolutionary, that are new. And that's what she did until her last day. And she didn't stop. She always told me, yeah, we need to finish this. I don't have so much time in my life. And yeah, and she worked tirelessly as a practitioner until she was 70 years and older. And I think she had more patients a day than other practitioners had a week. And is also the one of the very few people that I take advice of or took advice of in the concerning my health, because usually I'm of the opinion if you lead a healthy life, if you eat healthy, if you do some sports, if you are not overly stressed, if you do what you love to do. That also came to me at the event as Mark basically said, yeah, this is a guy who works a lot and 10 hours every day, weekends, everything. Then I said, I thought, yeah, why are you doing that? And I thought to me, yeah, because it's the right thing to do. Because if you do the thing you love to do and you think it's the right thing to do, it comes naturally that you don't feel that it's work anymore. And yeah, I will come back to Sabine's technique and also her knowledge back at the end of the presentation. I also took that from the Saturday presentation, but let's now dive into the essential oils module. I prepared a really nice presentation for you. And yeah, what is it all about? It's about wait a second, I have the wrong thing here. Is it here? Okay. It's about the essential oils module, and it's a product training. So it's not a commercial training. So yeah, that is the benefits. No, it's really a product training. So what does the product actually do? Here we have our small notice about information field analysis in general. And I will skip right to the beginning. So what do we want to do? We want to explore the unique properties of essential oils. And that's also something that you will find in this module you can easily do. So you really find what is the essential oil, what is this for, and what are the positive affirmations that go around this essential oil. So what is the pure information, also on an emotional level and also on a mental level, we will come to that at the end, to actually leverage the full power of an essential oil. Because many people are not aware of that, but you don't only have the physical thing that you have an essential oil. So it's also the information pattern that the essential oil carries. And of course, every essential oil, as I also have a book about food, which basically tell you the exact meaning of every food. So if you eat like, for example, a certain kind of nuts, it's something that you want to bring new things to the world and want to create new things. And this is a book that has 400 pages or something. And of course, you can read the whole book and find whatever you want. But that takes really long, and that's where actually Healy comes in. So no matter how many essential oils, how many plants we have, you can easily analyze what you need right now and get all the information really concised. So what do? We conduct the information field analysis, and that's the main purpose, of course, of this module also, to get the information you need in a very short amount of time. And what you get at the end is, of course, the essential oil that you need right now, and that's special about this module, that you ideally need for the focus you put in. And that's what we will see a little later. So first, a few, let's say, basics, and that's, of course, essential oils are very well known. So it's something that's there for thousands of years. It's nothing like a new fashion for this year. And so thousands of years, people are using essential oils, have huge successes with essential oils. And of course, those, as we all know, essential oils are extracted from parts of plants. And it's, of course, very important that those are of a very high quality. And you can use it for wellness purposes, for emotional balance, and of course, you can use it for topic application, for your personal well-being. So everyone knows you can do a lot with essential oils. Now, very important, the influence on the emotional and mental state. And at the end of the presentation, I will sum this up. So each essential oils, of course, holds a specific property. So specific information, as you have it also with homeopathic remedies. So there's an exact information pattern that has a very certain effect if you use it in a certain way. And this is true, of course, for essential oils. And here are some examples. For example, lavender, as I already said, or peppermint. Everyone knows peppermint, that it's energizing. And you have those influences of those, let's say, informations of those essential oils on your emotional body, on your mental state, and on your spiritual states. And of course, you can stimulate the limbic system very easily, and of course, foster harmony in the whole body. Now, if you incorporate essential oils in your daily life, usually you use diffusers or you use a topical application or also rituals. But now you have the Healy essential oil module, and that's a complete different way to actually take care of yourself very specifically. Now, the next thing is a very, very practical explanation. So what do you do when you start the essential oil? So first you get a small explanation. So what is the essential oil module doing? What will you find? And then the next thing you already get is your focus text. And now that's as we all know, the most important part in your analysis. So you need to see, what do I analyze for? So what is my purpose of this analysis? And now in the essential oil modules, oils module, I said, okay, since those oils are very specific, let's enable our users to put in and type in their own focus text. And as we all know, a focus text needs to be very specific. So it needs to be framed in a positive way. So no, I don't want this or negative things, completely positive. Then it should be in the present tense and as if you already achieved it. So if I'm unhappy and I want to be happy, I don't have a focus, yeah, I want to not to be unhappy anymore. So this is the worst focus you can imagine. So you have a present tense focus like, I am happy and in tune with the world. And that's your focus. And that's the focus you have also mentally, because only typing in it is half of the story. Mentally is the most important part. That's also true for the plant power database, by the way. You have, of course, the focus with what I have the highest resonance in the resonance module, but of course, mentally, you can set a different focus. But of course, if you type it in, it's a complete different story, because also if you do an analysis for someone else, you can show this person, okay, and basically work with this person on what do you need right now to basically guide the person through the process to type in what is now needed to frame it in a positive way to really have an effective focus text. And of course, the clarity of your focus influences the accuracy of the result. So the better your focus, the better the results. Now here I chose as an example, I allow my inner light to shine. So that's at the end of the day, that's a very big part of our life. So we really want to have this inner light to get out to everyone and show everyone what you can do. Show your unique traits, show what you actually can offer the world. And that is, of course, always a good focus. That's why we put it as a default focus text. So we also have default focus texts inside. If you don't know what is now really important, what you want to achieve, just see if you resonate with the default focus text, pick this and see what the analysis brings you. Now, if you start the analysis, of course, you first visualize that you already achieved this positive state. And that's now one of the most important things. You need to check if your inner, let's say, child also wants you to have this. Because there are often people that say, okay, I want to get better. And if you check this a little deeper, they don't really want to get better. They are miserable and they are happy when they're miserable. So you need to see, okay, is my focus text, is it something I would allow myself to happen? Or is it just something I want to complain about to gain some attention from someone else? So if you visualize it and visualize it as it already happened, you see, okay, do you want it? Do you really want it? Can you imagine that you achieved it already? And if yes, really feel the resonance throughout your whole body. Feel that, okay, now, wow, that feels amazing. That's where I want to get. And then it always helps, and I always recommend then have a sense of gratitude. So really be grateful that you will achieve this, because now, since you are able to imagine it, you are one step away from actually achieving it, usually. Now, the next thing is also, or the last point is also very important. And I learned this from a very, very seasoned practitioner. And he said, okay, you must not enable or have your focus cloud your ability to do a neutral analysis. And that's very important, because if you want something a lot, you are getting irrational. And if you do an irrational information field analysis, you get irrational results. So what you do, you have the focus, I just want to achieve the optimal result for myself or the client. And that's very neutral. It's just the optimal result. I just want the optimal result. I don't want to achieve X or Y or something. No, the optimal result. But you, of course, have your focus in mind. And then you go the next step. And then you start the analysis with this in mind. Then the essential oil database is analyzed. So all the 100 plus essential oils are analyzed, and the one is determined, or the ones are determined that have basically the highest resonance with your specific focus that you carry in your mind and that you basically typed in the focus sentence. And of course, the results are always listed by relevance. So the most important one is always on top. Now, in the next step, and this is, I think, actually the most crucial step of all, because you can do the perfect analysis, you have the perfect result, but if you don't take the time to reflect on the results, you miss out on a big portion of the effect. Because you can always send it in the information feed, you always have your harmonization of the information feed, you always have the effect, but if you reflect on the results, you can achieve a lot more. And I will also sum this up at the end again. So first thing I would recommend is read the present state, simply to get to know the oil. So what are we talking about? So what is the oil about? So what plant is it? What it is for? So just to understand it. But this is not the most important thing. Then read aloud the desired state description, because the desired state description is the positive affirmation. So that's distilled down to the very core what this oil can bring you, especially on emotional state. And then you pay close attention to emotional resonance. Why? Because you're reading, of course, all the essential oils, and then you see, okay, which one actually resonates. And you usually get this immediately. You read something and think, okay, wow, that really hit you. That really did something inside of you. And that's the most important thing that you should take from this analysis. And really pay very close attention to this, because that's your gem. That's the gem you get out of this analysis. So and usually that's one. It can be more than one affirmation, but usually it's one that really hits you. And now in the next step, of course, you read the background information. And that's something that's very special about this module. So we didn't put only the desired state description. No, we also put background information. And the background information carries a lot of extra information that is also related to the essential oil and also is sent to the information field when you use it for harmonization. So this is the powerful background information. And you might also find in the background information your affirmation that you really resonate with. So read through, take your time for the background information and also read through it and see, okay, what do you resonate with? You don't need to read everything. You just need to read until you find something that resonates. Because if you find this positive affirmation that really feels significant for you, then you write it down. So you write down the affirmation on a small piece of paper, because there's a saying that if it's written in black and white, then it gets reality. And that's what we want. We want this positive affirmation to be your new reality. And you carry it with you for at least a week. And I always, if I want to get things done on a regular basis, then I do it before I brush my teeth and after I brush my teeth. And that's just a recommendation. Maybe you have something else that you or you have a daily routine or something, then you can incorporate it and do it just for 1 week. That's enough. Read it out loud. Really read it out loud and see how it changes your emotional body. Really feel what it does. Now, the next thing is, of course, you can always, if you feel, okay, wow, that's a heavy thing, I don't really cannot cope with that. I don't, even if I read the affirmation, I'm really stuck a little. Then, of course, you can also buy the essential oil and physically use it. So what I recommend is always put it in your hands, rub it a little, and then take 3 deep breaths. And when you breathe out, then really try to breathe out whatever is holding you back, whatever basically blocks you, whatever traumata you relate to this affirmation. Really breathe out, because this is basically letting go of things. And we as humans, or most of the people that I know, they have really trouble of letting go. So you really let go of all things. So it happened in the past, you cannot change it anymore. Let it go. And you really need to feel that you let it go. So this is a really good exercise to exercise this emotional detox. Now, in the next slide, there's of course the most important thing on a daily basis, what you also should do, vibrate the positive information and the background information, of course, the desired state and the background information in the information field. So realign your own information field and do that very consciously. And also keep in mind your focus, your initial focus. So what did you want to achieve? So what new state is it that you will achieve? And this basically you need to carry in your mind when you do the vibration in the information feed, when you send the information to the information feed. And of course, the more conscious you are when you do that, the more effective is the transformation process. And some additional information, some small ones. So of course you have the information icon on the top right corner. There you can export the PDF, rename it, delete it. The next thing is, and that's a very special function, that's quite important, because in the settings menu, advanced settings, you can basically decide which group you want. And the groups is basically the big networks that we have out there for essential oils. Group 1 is the one group, and group 2 is the other group. So whatever you want as a result, you will get it then. So note this. Now a small summary. Or a small conclusion. So what does the essential oil module do for me? It promotes, of course, your holistic health. It provides personalized recommendation, and that's very important. It's personalized. It's really on spot for you, what you analyze. It supports your emotional and spiritual well-being, what we already had, and it's a natural and powerful way to take good care of you. And that's I think that really was much clearer to me the last month, that it's a very effective way of self-care. And Healy is really enabling us to take good care of ourselves. And I know also my mother was also the same. She took care about everyone else except of herself. And even every therapist told her, you need to take care of yourself. But since she had a real big traumata concerning this one, she didn't do that. But if you have that, really try to work on that, because at the end of the day, your health is the only thing that's left. So if you are healthy, everything else follows. If you're not healthy, everything else is blocked. And now the last slide that I told you about just right from the beginning. So what do we actually address with this module, or what can be addressed? Because we, of course, can do parts of it, but what I would recommend is always do all levels. And that goes back to Sabine Weber. And when I asked her for some advice, she always said, okay, you can take this remedy. Okay, did you, here's an affirmation, you can use this. Okay, look into your emotions. So how does it feel? And okay, I will do an information field analysis especially for you, and do that. So what she taught me is you need, or you can address every level. And this is not like in conventional medicine, it's always like narrowed down to one thing. Okay, we just change this one parameter and then the person will get healthy. But that's not reality. Reality is that we are a very complex being that lives in several levels. So we have the physical level, the mental level, the emotional level, the spiritual level, the information level. We have also an energetic level. So the more levels you are able to address in a proper way to solve something for you, the higher is the chance of success. So, of course, physically, you can take the essential oil, you can ingest it, whatever works for this essential oils. You need to, of course, see that it's ingestible. On the mental level, of course, read the positive information, digest the positive information, understand the positive information, and use this affirmation or the information, as I said, write it down, read it aloud. Then on the emotional level is when you read it aloud, then really feel what it does with you. Feel what is blocked inside of you. Really feel, because especially men are not so used to feel anything, so they are there to function and work and do. And usually the female counterpart in the partnerships, they basically teach men to also listen to their emotions, to also use their emotions in a positive way. And that's what you can do here big time, because those affirmations usually trigger emotional traumatas. And that's what we want to get solved or resolved. And then, of course, the spiritual level, because if you get rid of those traumatas, if you basically grow out of those things, then you also are able to develop spiritually. So you, I mean, some call it self development or personal development. So you are able to personally develop much faster in the right direction to achieve whatever you want in your life much easier. And that's, I think, worth it. And last but definitely not least, the information feed level. So you really can leverage this very subtle but very, let's say, effective level to simply push yourself in the right direction. And I think that combination that makes this module really powerful. But you, of course, need to invest a little time and a little effort to take the most out of it. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Coming right back in. Well, thank you, Martin. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to have you and gain this incredible information. All right. And with that, we will sign off on this training session, and we really appreciate your time, and keep doing what you're doing, because it's providing the tools that helps the field get better every day. And I'm loving the comments. I know there were a couple of questions that we saw. We make sure that we'll forward those questions to you and get the word out about these two incredible program groups. All right. Thanks very much, and we will see you all soon.
Thank you.